Do you know that grandparents raising grandchildren is a national phenomenon? In Illinois, over 200,000 children under the age of 18 are living in a grandparent-headed home. In tough economic times, these numbers increase.
Started GRANDFamilies in 2003 because I saw a need for grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. It really was birthed out of the need for housing for grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. But most of all, there was not supportive services for grandparents. Many of the grandparents had taken on the responsibility of their children because they wanted to keep their families intact. So what our signature mark is Grand Generations Creating a Legacy.
I'm a grandparent. I'm raising 5 grandchildren.
I'm the primary grandparent of 4 children.
Now I have one boy, and then the other girl, my sister was raising, I have her now. So I'm raising her, and right now that's what my life consists of, raising them.
The resources that I found out about were none. Thanks to Ms. Kitchen, we now have the resources, the support and empowerment for grandparents raising grandchildren.
They would support for me when I had a fire in my house.
To have a place for us to stay, have our own rooms, it just meant so much to me. It just touched my heart. So I would never forget it. Never forget the feeling when I walked in my apartment again, to have your own home again. It meant so much to me. I can't just really tell you how much. I might start crying if I tell you how much it meant to me. It just touched my heart.
I have to keep going because of my grandsons. I can't give up.
The essence of GRANDFamilies is to improve the quality of life for grandparents who are raising their grandchildren and to help them to be empowered and self-sufficient.
GRANDFamily have helped me the most, but just knowing that somebody else is in the same shoes or worse. And it makes you feel better to think that I'm not in this boat alone.
If I had to tell someone about GRANDFamilies, what I would tell them was, it's an organization that's not like anything else you've ever been in. And if you're a grandparent raising grandchildren, I would advise anybody to try to seek them out, because when I went to them, I didn't only get support with housing, which I say was the most important thing, but I got emotional support because I was very emotional. Like I say, I didn't have, I was very emotional. And they reached out to me with, not only with services, with love.
I'm a grandparent, so naturally I can talk to other grandparents because I've walked in their shoes, and a lot of them have walked in mine. So we give each other the support that we need, and we empower each other to keep going. Don't give up. And my thing is that our children are no longer victims, they're survivors, and they're thriving because of us. And we're thriving because of them. So we can't give up. The resources that we have, they're very important.
What we have found with the founding grandparents is that they have, like in the beginning, we brought in resources for them. And so they have been able to maintain those resources. And so we have seen a lot of changes. We have seen changes even with the grandchildren. You know, I remember my granddaughter was graduating from high school, and she had to write a paper. And I read the paper, and she asked, I don't know why I'm not with my mother. I don't know what I did to not be with my mother. I don't know why my mother doesn't want me. And I had to explain to her, it's not something that you did. It's not your fault. But I'm here to provide whatever that you may need, and hopefully it will help you. And, you know, don't let this affect you as you grow older. You know, don't hold that as it was something that's negative in your life.
The most important thing in my children, you know, they don't have to be A students, but do be the best that you can be. That's all I ask.
Basically, that's the most important thing to me for them is love and the care that they give each other and the care that they give me. Because they all come in my room and they jump on my bed. Grandma, Grandma.
Things that I don't understand or don't know, most of the time you can find information through GRANDFamilies. It's out there for you.
Thanks to Ms. Kitchen, we now have the resources, the support and empowerment for grandparents raising grandchildren.
I would advise anyone, if you raising your grandchildren, contact them because you will get so much out of it. And I have vowed for the rest of my life, no matter whether I'm raising grandchildren or not, I will always be involved with GRANDFamilies program of Chicago, giving back something to them. And I know one day when I'm not raising my grandchildren anymore, I will have free cash that I can donate back to GRANDFamilies. So that's where I'm at with GRANDFamilies. As you can tell, they have a place in my heart.
Oh, the greatest thing that GRANDFamilies have helped me with the most is the understanding. There's just not enough words to describe what grandparents mean to me. The GRANDFamilies program of Chicago, it's my heart. It's also my youngest son's heart. He wants to give back to the community. And he says, Mom, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give something back to GRANDFamilies because they've done so much for you. This is my grandson, Christian. He's 14, just graduated from Avalon Park Elementary School.
These families are thriving. The children have been able to change. We see changes. We see a light. We see where the grandparents and the grandchildren, there is hope in their faces.
We need their support. We need their donations. We need their help to keep the doors open.
The GRANDFamilies program of Chicago provides assistance and counseling through an empowerment network. That empowerment network hosts monthly grandparent support groups. These groups provide information, education, training, a support system, and balance. These groups provide information and assistance for referrals and to identify counseling, legal, and other relevant and important services. With your help, GRANDFamilies will continue to support these families and many more. A donation of cash, your time, or your expertise will go far in improving the future and preserving the legacy of many local families. We need your help to keep the doors open.